Jennifer, also known as Jenny, Jen, which is what you like, but your born name is Jennifer, but I'm not saying everyone should start calling you that or anything. So just to give everyone a bit of a background, you're the founder and director of Hip Hop Pop, also top 5%.
You had to get that in, didn't you, early?
But you are, and you don't say it enough. So I thought it would be nice to interview you for a change, as we've been interviewing lots of other people. The interviewer becomes the interviewee.
Apparently so.
Yeah, so your students, the Hip Hop Pop family, as we like to call it, they all know you already, obviously. You teach them every week. But I think it would be nice for them to know a little bit more about you, more personal, and just something they wouldn't know, and also time for you to share things with them that you don't necessarily get the time to talk to them about in the class. You can touch on things, but you can't go into a full deep 45-minute discussion. So this would be nice for you to get some of those things out that you want to say. So first off, who are you and why are you here? Just kidding.
But no.
Just kidding. Jenny, how did you find 2020?
Yeah, it's been a journey. Like, obviously we've had that journey together. We had our showcase, didn't we, in March on the 8th, I think it was, that weekend. And I can't believe that it was literally that 1 week and then we went into lockdown. So I feel really grateful that we were able to do that show and everybody was able to have that moment on stage that they've been working hard for. But then obviously the rest of the year has been very up and down for all of us, as it has been. I'd like to think that as a company, we've done fairly well trying to do our absolute best. But personally, I've just kept myself busy with stuff. So you'll know this anyway, but I'll just start new things. I'm very much a new starter. Whether it carries on doesn't mean here nor there, but of starting new things or trying out new things. Everybody knows I've been loving a bit of TikTok lately. Can't say I'm not enjoying it, mind you. It's pretty good fun. Done a few online courses. This is not to say that that's what people should do in lockdown, but for me personally, to keep busy, that's what I've done. I've done a few courses. Without going into great detail, the beginning of the year was a terrible start for me and my family. So to keep myself busy, especially now, has been a real lifesaver.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well done you as well for getting through it. So those that are watching this that don't know, I'm Vic, I'm the other director of Hip Hop Pop. So I've decided to interview Jenny because she's the face and the tutor of Hip Hop Pop.
You'll have your turn.
No,
Get it.
no, I'm fine, thank you. So, Jenny, have you got any resolutions or new goals for 2021?
Yeah, I definitely, first things first, get back in shape. I'm always reminiscing about the time we went to South Africa and we was performing. I was training every day, eating super clean, and I felt the best I've ever felt. Don't get me wrong, I got a little bit obsessed with my physique, and I never want to be that obsessed again. I want it to be a lifestyle, so that's my goal for 2021. Not be skinny, just feel good. Just feel good. Shift a little bit of weight, but feel good. Grow the company and grow with the people that have been really loyal to us and committed throughout this year as well, and keep building opportunities for them. And just keep pushing myself, really. Don't sort of get complacent with where I'm at as a person or in the company. Just keep pushing further forward with things. I don't know where that's going to go yet, but that's the mentality, at least.
Oh, I think that's a great mentality. Well done you.
Thanks.
So before we get into the nitty gritty, Jen, could you give us a rundown of what you do, who you are here at Hip Hop Pop, in person and behind the scenes? Because there's so much to your job that I don't think people realise. It's not a case of you just turning up, doing a dance class and going home again.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a small percentage, a very important percentage, but a very small percentage of your day and your week. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us what else fills up your week? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a really difficult question to answer because every day literally is different. There are a few tasks that are daily tasks But as a company director, as you'll know, things change all the time and you're constantly looking for new avenues. So when I first started this company, it was very much, most of my time was just plan a lesson and do it. And that's why it did to start as just some classes, whereas now it's a company, it's a big school. So there is so much to do. And like you said, the teaching and preparing side of it is very small. So for example, on a Monday, I'll teach 6 classes. I would have done the prep the week before, the month before, because things are always planned out as in how the students are going to progress. So I'll already have a goal, a long goal, then it'll be a short goal, and I just need to prep the week before of the exact formalities of that goal. So in terms of daily tasks, that's not a big part of it. Teaching, all right, is a certain amount of my daily hours, but a few things that would be in a normal day would be obviously check inquiries via email, go on all the socials and be active. There's so many different social media platforms where all the kids are, all the adults, we've got to be present because we're a company. So that takes a little bit of time every morning. Then you've got the accounting and the legal side. Then you've got trying to get new business, keep relationships with companies and people that we work with all the time. Think of new ideas, prep shows. I'm trying to think that they're just the first things that come to mind, but you always kind of have to split your day up into classes, daily, moving forward. So what's the next step? Because if you go with the classes and daily, you never really progress. So you have to kind of do that and that. So it's a constant juggling act. But anybody who runs a small business would know that, you know, and understand their business. They've got every hat on, basically, every hat.
Yeah. And I think there's this thing around working from home, isn't it? Oh, you work from home, you must have loads of time on your hands. You must be just relaxy taxi all day. When really that's not the case. So, you know, what's your work hours in a week?
What's not?
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? I'd like to think over my years of running the company, I've got better at time blocking and looking after my time. I'm not very good at shutting off, but I am good at getting the tasks done within a set amount of time. But for example, I'll say I'm going to get up and get in the office by 8:30, and then I'm going to work till 6, teach a couple of classes and stop. I know it's a long day, probably sounds a long day to some people, but that's standard for us, right? After classes, in theory, I want to stop. I want to relax. I want to watch a bit of TV and have my dinner. Then you'll get a text, an inquiry. You'll get a text from a team member. It doesn't mean it's negative, anything. And you have to reply to it because you know if you don't do it there and then, it goes on the next day. I know that that's probably some people that are very good at timekeeping would go, that goes on the to-do list for the next day. But it's very hard to leave things that's going to leave your brain ticking. So for example, if it's a big thing, especially like all these lockdown announcements, we can't just shut off and go, I'll do that tomorrow. Like, it's very hard to sleep until you've sorted things. So in terms of work hours, there isn't, we do try and cut off, don't we? We try and say, right, we're going to have this day off, but there's always something that you end up doing. Whereas if you're in an office, that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah, it's very hard to shut off when you own your own business. I think in all industries, if you're, you know, if your phone is your office, then that doesn't turn off. So, but yeah, no, lovely job.
I think anybody who's really serious about their business and it's their passion will really care about giving it everything. And sometimes that means our time, whether that's a good or a bad thing, sometimes our time does get eaten up where you would prefer to have that with chilling or friends, family.
Yeah.
So it's a sacrifice on occasions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think any small business becomes your life and you do have to make those sacrifices.
Yep.
It gets hard, but you get some good rewards as well. So it's all swings and roundabouts.
Exactly. Some of our best life experiences and memories are stuff that's happened within the business. So you can't complain. It's not a complaint. It's an observation that I'm aware of that as I get older would be nice to ease up on. But for now, while the business is still very much growing, it's going to give everything. Yeah.
I think you've taught everyone a really good lesson there is you need to work hard, very hard to get where you want to get because nothing comes easy.
Nothing's given to you on a plate ever.
No, and still at the beginning, you know, you think that that's just the point at the beginning as well. And once you sort of get to a level, you can kind of stop, but you can't. You have to keep going. But that's great. So moving on to something else now. So now I know you fairly well. Uh, we've been dancing together since you were 10. No, I was 10 and you must have been 14.
Yeah.
You've been dancing since you were 5, whereas I started when I was about 10, 11, I think. So we met about then. So I know you fairly well. So, but not a lot of people know why you made a decision to run a dance school.
Hmm.
What was that? What you intended to do? Was that your plan, or how did you get into doing what you did, and what age were you when you started it?
I'm going to give you a summary of the whole thing. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Right. So I started at age 5 because my next door neighbour came round and she and her mate showed me a routine. I mean, it's very basic, but I was like, I want to do that. So I went there. At the time, I'd also started tennis as well. So background, until the age of 16, dancing and tennis, dancing all different styles, even rock and roll, ballet, the lot, right? And tennis. And I really thought that I'd be a tennis player, or I did pretty well at school, thought I'd be a maths teacher, right? So dancing was a hobby, but a really strong hobby. When I got to 16, I retired from tennis because tennis was literally every day and I loved it, and my mum, bless her, used to drive me everywhere. I don't know, me and my mum spent a lot of time in the car going to different tennis clubs and playing different tennis tournaments, and I very much enjoyed that. But as I got older, there was a lot of pressure to keep up the level, so I retired from tennis, was able to give more time to my education and dancing became more and more of a passion, especially street dance, focusing on that, and I love the music as well, and I just wanted to be a bit more creative with it. So in 2002, a few friends and I, including yourself, you are the one member that's been with us since day one, Vic, right?
I'm loyal. No, I'm kidding.
Loyal.
I'm kidding.
Look, at the end of the day, long story short, it was meant to be an opportunity to be creative with friends. It was never meant to be a big business. It was never meant to be a dance school. It was meant to be a creative avenue for myself and a few friends. Show 2, we got a lot of interest from show 1. We auditioned, we had a much bigger cast, did a much bigger show, still no classes, never the intention. It was the intention to be creative and let other people have a platform as well to share with me. After that second show, and during between 1 and 2, people were saying, you've got to start classes. Why don't you do classes? We're doing the show, you need to do classes. So that was in the back of my head. People wanting the classes, and I had a passion for teaching people and passing on the knowledge, inspired me to start a couple of classes. During that time, making sure I was attending other classes outside to get my training further, get more research, have classes with respected people, and luckily a couple of pioneers as well. And really home in on one style, and it just literally grew from there, and it became a school. I even said to my boss, Phil, shout out to Phil, I was working at the Playhouse at the time, because he kindly helped me get that going, because he sorted out a deal for the rooms for me. What was my point there? I even said to Phil, I don't want it to be a dance school, I just want a couple of classes. But it's, as I understood the need, sorry I'm waffling on here, the need for people to have a proper path of progression, the school was born really naturally, without saying, okay, today I'm going to start a dance school. It kind of naturally became that, and I just love it. Wouldn't go back.
Training wise, since you've opened your school, what sort of extended training have you had?
Like I previously said, it's very much my own motivation to get me out to different classes and train with different people when I was younger. But even now at 37, if there's, when we've got time in the school, of course, if there's a workshop going on with somebody respected within certain genres, I'll go to it. If there's new articles online about the history, about new progression in styles, I'll read it. But more specifically, shout out to Andy at Urban Strides. In 2015, I'd met Andy before in Urban Strides, done a couple of their workshops, but he runs a high-level teacher training course, one of the highest in the UK. And I passed that with distinction, boom, boom. And yeah, so basically it's just a piece of paper. I know it's just a piece of paper, but it proves that I know what I'm talking about. And that for me is a nice, how would you put it? It was empowering anyway, but it's nice to have the letters on the paper to say, actually what I'm saying is true, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. So, you know, you don't just say, yeah, I teach street dance. You know your stuff.
Yeah.
You know your backgrounds. You've done the research. You've spoken to people that have done the research. You have trained with the people that have done the research. You know it in and out, and you know what's right and wrong. And I think that's perfect.
Listen, couple of things on this note, just in case there's anybody out there from outside our dance school wants to get a bit of a more understanding on my feelings on it. I appreciate that I'm a guest in this culture. I understand where it comes from, but I am doing my best to pay homage to it in what we teach here in Essex. Yeah, so I appreciate there's still lots for me to learn, and I can't wait because I'm passionate about what I do. And I know that street dance, you don't have to have a piece of paper to teach it, but in this country, I'm running a business. It's nice to have that proof for people who don't understand so much about it to say, you know, she can teach safely. She knows what she's talking about.
What's your vision for the dance school in the future for you?
A few things really. Extend the timetable, that's for sure. I mean, I'm teaching a lot myself anyway, but there's some great teachers that we know and we have on the team. Who knows what the future holds? Hopefully a wider timetable to offer it out to more people because we are full on some of our age groups, aren't we? So it'd be nice for other people to have the opportunity to train with us. Without going into any detail, and I hate it when people do this and they give a little clue, but they don't actually tell you what it is, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's going to be a whole new arm to our business coming in. It was meant to be this year, but it's probably looking like next year now. That's going to be a whole new type of training for a whole different purpose, and that's all I'll say, but it's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, just keep building opportunities for people really, and keep watching our students grow and enjoying those opportunities.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, exciting stuff. If you could tell your younger self one piece of advice in terms of your training and your learning, what would it be?
Um, do what you want to do. Do whatever makes you happy.
As long as it's legal.
As long as it's illegal. Yeah, but just do what makes you happy. Don't listen to negativity. You know, take on critique. Yeah, so if someone's got something to say, especially in dancing, that will help you, take it on. But, you know, if someone is being negative about what you want to do, ignore that because you've got it. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, perfect. What do you personally enjoy most about teaching, Jen? Like what advice have you got for the students to get the most out of their class? That was two questions there, isn't it?
Yeah. Right.
What do you personally enjoy most about teaching?
The first one, as much as I enjoy seeing people progress, and especially those tiny little portions of progression in terms of steps, you know, even if like a lot of young students still struggle with left and right because that's what a young person is learning at that time.
Yeah.
And just that they get it, like I've helped them with a theory to get their left and right, and now that they're getting the choreography better because they know when I say left and right, just little portions of achievement like that. I love that. But more than that, it's seeing somebody become more confident. Like I can't tell you the amount of children that come very shy, not sure, won't see a peep, I don't know what their voice sounds like, you know, very timid in the way they perform, which is fine, it's their first few goes, you know, but to see them then start to get it, then start to smile, start to talk to people, just really start to love it and go for it, and it, you know, be a sponge to it, that's my favourite thing.
Honestly, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That is the most amazing thing to see when they come in so shy and they just blossom into this little confident little human, and it's just it's the best.
Can I pinpoint, I won't say their name, but one young lady, she's about 10 I think, and I remember her coming into class, shoulders are up, like looking like this, she would barely move her body. And now when we're talking like probably a year down the line, I think she's been with us a year, like not only is she smashing it in terms of like the routine and stuff, but the moment that music goes on, she is smiling, she is freestyling, she is going for it. And
yeah, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. There's been quite a few people like that. It makes me really emotional because I just, their confidence, like it's a hard world to be in sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just think sometimes when you the confidence is so low, and you see them when they've built that, and you've done that for them. Your class has done that for them, and that is just that's if that is something to achieve in your life, then that's on the top of the list.
Yeah.
And well done, you. If you could tell, no, I've asked you that already. What advice do you have for your students to get the most out of your classes specifically?
Yep. Listen and be open, right? So, and also, nobody cares if you mess it up. I say it every class, because I can't be more passionate about that. Like, I don't care if you get my steps wrong. All I care about is that you're just giving it everything you've got. If you manage to get it, wonderful. If you don't get it yet, you will. You just got to keep working. And just be a sponge to it all. Listen, take on everything, be open to new things. You know, I personally, my favourite style, and I'm still learning a lot about it, is locking, right? It's not everybody's favourite. Most of my students will say hip hop, right? So if I do a lock-in week, I know that it's not going to be everybody's favourite week, but be open to it, and like be passionate about wanting to be as good at that as you are at hip hop.
Yeah, very good point. And I can relate to that as one of your students, as well as running this business with you, because locking isn't my strongest point, and it's not the genre I would choose to do on an evening specifically, but I will throw myself into it. And I've found that actually I have enjoyed it once I've put my mind to it. But I've also found it very challenging. So you do have to open your mind, especially if you want to become a dancer. You need to be open to learning all these new things. I know your life has been dedicated to your school. So anytime you've had it is fully gone into that. Sacrifices have been made, but that's what your choice is, what you wanted to do. You did sacrifice your own professional dance career, really, to do what you do. But what work have you done alongside your teaching and your school? And do you regret not doing more?
Um, I won't say regret, because I wouldn't have what I have now. Um, there are things that, you know, I suppose I'd like to have danced with a bigger artist than I had. Now, just sort of in terms of background, I've danced with artists, but they've all been, and no disrespect to them, new artists. So new on the scene, it'd be their new music video or an event, a promo event. So I've done that stuff. Choreographed for a couple as well. But it'd be nice to do a bigger star just once. But again, that was my choice. I could have continued down that route, but I wouldn't have been able to focus so much on the school, which wouldn't have what we have now, which is an opportunity for so many people. Like, if you look at it like this, if I didn't do that, I'm not saying that people wouldn't find another dance school, but literally hundreds of people, thousands over the years that we've been running, wouldn't have had those experiences for me to be selfish and have one of my own. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of that settles my mind that there's no shadow of a doubt. You know, the decision I made was a great one. Don't get me wrong, if Janet Jackson called me up and said, Jen, could you come and perform with me? Particularly to Miss You Much, Together Again or Control, I'd be there. Sorry guys, I would drop everything just for one day and go and do that. Just for one day. But I've done a couple of other things as well. Like, as you know, we both danced for 24 Karat Bruno and Madonna, which are touring shows. But in particular, Forever Jackson, which has been running for 10 years, we've had the pleasure of going abroad to many different places with that show. So in terms of performance experience, even though essentially it's a home-based show that's then gone wider rather than a big star kind of thing, it's like we've danced in hundreds of professional shows.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really quibble at that. Like, so we've had the experience of touring the world doing what we love with our friends, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just getting a job, dance job, which I'm sure would be amazing, but dancing with strangers, we've done it with our friends, people that we trained with, and yeah, I can't complain at all.
I'm just going to touch on something you said a minute ago, because you said about, you'd sacrifice that for your students. And I think that people that don't know you may see you as not quiet, but like, oh, I can't say that to Jen, because they're like, oh, a bit nervous, or like, oh, Jen's the boss. I can't say that, but I'm gonna let them all in on something here because
Oh
you
no.
are the biggest softie in the world. So if anyone has any problem or anything, just talk to Jen because honestly, she's such a big softie. And when people say to me, "No, I can't tell Jen," or they're like, "Because you come across," but then I can see where they come from because I used to feel that way. But you're just the total opposite. You're a big softie. Your heart is in such a great place, and even just to the point that you put all your wants and needs aside to run this school for your students, and that's literally what it was. Like, I just think it's incredible, and I'm saying it because I know you won't say it because you won't blow your own trumpet ever, and I know you won't say it, so that's why I'm saying it now. So she'll probably hate me for saying that, but tough.
I don't mind being a softie. You know, it's not a bad trait to have. I mean, we all know.
No, I'm saying it's good to be a softie. So, it just shows you it's not what people may seem, it may look like from the outside straight away. Everything is not what it seems.
Yeah.
And whereas from the outside you look like a toughie and you wouldn't say anything, or like I couldn't say that to Jen because she might shout at me.
Sure.
That is the
By the way, I don't shout at people. You sound like a shout.
Exactly. That is the total opposite. I don't think I've ever heard you shout in my life. Like, you're softie.
I was going to go back to something. Yeah, I know that some people are probably thinking, well, you could have probably done some other professional work and run the school. Yeah, probably could, but it wouldn't be what it is today. And also, I'm a very much, I haven't got OCD, well, I might have. It's never been said on paper, but I'm very much have to finish something. I can't leave things undone. So even though the job we do is kind of a juggling act, I still, have to focus fully on something. So, if I'm trying to think of myself and do this performing stuff at the same time as trying to have a brilliant dance school, naturally my brain will just not compute that.
Yeah, and I think you're right there because, all right, it's different for everybody. It's different how you want to run it, but kids and students, they get used to their teacher. And if you're going for lots of different performing work, which is absolutely fine, they don't get used to having you. They're used to having you. And as soon as you go, they're seeing all these different people all the time. There's no real, I personally think, no stability. So, they love to see you. And even, if there's been an occasion when you've not been well, we've had the odd person go, yeah, but they're not going to come tonight because they just want to be taught by Jen. And it's like, that's a one time thing that happens, maybe because you're never ill, like once every 10 years or something. So if you were doing that all the time, then no, it wouldn't be as big as it was, which there's no problem in that, because then you'd have more experiences to bring back to the kids and whatnot. Is always pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
Putting your all into the school and the kids, I think that's probably the best thing you could have done for your school if you wanted it to grow as much as it has.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hip Hop Pop is street dance based. So why did you just have a school for street dance and not everything?
Firstly, selfishly, it is the style that I felt most drawn to when I was first learning. So obviously my passion started from a child. I couldn't probably pinpoint exactly what that was, but I knew that was a style that I enjoyed much more. I appreciated ballet was good for me. I appreciated tap was good, all the other stuff. And I would advise anybody wanting to be a professional dancer to get a varied education. But that was the thing I enjoyed most in terms of the moves and how it made me feel. But for now, the music just draws me in. It makes me want to dance. And also, I think the ethos and the origins of that style fit very well with me. It's a social style, so it's not like, here's the set move, you do it this way to this exact piece of music. It's very much, you can be really creative with it, and it's a shared creativity with other people. I kind of like that part of it. Don't get me wrong, I work on my own very often and choreograph, but it's, I don't know, there's a whole range of ways that I could get creative with it, rather than it being, I'm not saying that other styles are restrictive, but this is less. It's a vernacular style that is just naturally born, and whatever comes out is okay because that's my version, you know.
So what would you say if there was someone, why should people come to you if you just do street dance?
Because we focus on it. So anybody who has a niche of one thing, you know that their full focus is going to be on that. For example, I want to go shopping and I want to go to find a, let's say a lemon, right? I like lemons, right? So I want to go shopping for a lemon. I could get one from Tesco's, but they've got one type of lemon. Whereas if I go to a fruit and veg store, I know that them lemons are going to be the best lemons because they've considered where they come from, and they've got, you know, maybe an array of different types of lemons. It's the same thing. I've waffled a lot, but you get what I'm saying.
That's a great explanation. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean. So if there was someone at your school that wanted to take up dance professionally, what advice would you give them?
Be open to all styles. So even if you don't fully, they're not your focus of enjoyment, get a bit of a variety, especially classical styles. I'm not saying you have to take that further, but if you go to an audition and it says on there a hip hop audition, but that, you know, the person who's teaching it is a commercial routine, which commercial has a lot of influences from different styles. If you've got a background in other genres as well as just hip hop, you're going to do better than the ones that have had just hip hop on paper, right?
Yeah.
So be open to different styles and just do you. So you can go to these schools and, you know, you do have to be uniformed to get certain jobs. You do have to be able to be instructed and be very crisp and clean, but also don't forget to do you. You know, so don't end up being a robot. Be a robot when you need to be, but be you.
So would you say, you know, come find a dance school that, you know, if they're with you already, that's great. They're getting their foundation and every bit of knowledge from you in their street dance. But if they wanted an extra bit of something, you know, find someone that does ballet.
Yes.
Someone that does this, like, and combine it all together, which I know quite a few of our students have done that. The ones that wanted to go and be a professional dancer, they have then taken it upon themselves.
Yep.
Take a ballet class or
Yes.
take a contemporary class, just something a little added extra before they start their college. So going back, speaking about the school and that we are mainly street dance based, because you wanted to focus on that.
Yep.
I think that, would you say that is good for both the students that want to progress into a professional career and for the students that just want to learn and do it for fun? Because there's no pressure on it. There's no pressure to build to this professional world. They can just do it to enjoy it. You know, they don't have to do this class, and to do this class they have to do that class, and they have to do this and this and this. You can come and you can learn, but also if you don't want to just do that, there is that chance to progress as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, as a dance company as well, if you're looking for progression within that, but you don't want to be a professional, we've still got crews that you can be a part of. We've still got shows and routines and projects you can be a part of, if that's something you want to do. Or if you don't want any of that and you just want to come to a class and enjoy yourself and learn something, a skill for you, keep fit, that is totally cool. That's the beauty of street dance. It's such a all-encompassing style, is in terms of all ages, all genders, all backgrounds. Everyone is welcome and everyone can enjoy it. It's not a particular box ticking experience. It's everybody comes together, which is a nice part of the style. It's a community style, really. So whether you come to class and just want to do it to keep fit, all the way up to taking it to professional, any stage that you are, it fits.
Okay, so my next question is, what piece of advice would you give to aspiring dancers and our students say on how to conduct themselves in the performance world?
Yep. Three things. Number one, be you. Always be you. Don't try and be somebody else just because it's a big job or this, that, and the other. Just be you, and be a nice person. Number two, respect each other. So respect the choreographer, respect the teacher, and they will respect you also. Yeah. I know that there may feel like a hierarchy sometimes, teacher to student. Some places might not feel that. They may feel it's the same. But regardless, just respect. Respect your peers as well. You know, be kind. The teacher has a hard job as well. You know, be kind to them. Like, if you say something that you don't like one of their moves, they're not a brick wall. You know, they've got feelings as well. I'm not saying that's what happens, but I'm just giving you an example. You know, say kind things to your friends. Oh, you look really good doing that move. It's just nice. And the last thing is, in terms of respect, I think a lot of youngsters need to learn, and that's our job as teachers, that when you do shows, it's not just me and you that deserve any recognition, or we don't even do it for recognition. We know this, but a lot of people say thanks to us for what we've done, and we're not looking for that. But the people you should be thanking, all the people that never get thanked, so the people that work just as hard on the shows, the lighting designer, the DSM, the sound op, the stage doorman, the front of house, you know, just say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just an etiquette. I think I learnt it from pantomime when I was younger. But as you come off stage from the bow, you thank the duty stage manager. It's just etiquette. And I think it teaches youngsters a valuable lesson of just appreciating people as well.
Yeah, sure. That's a good point. Let's relaxy taxi this a little bit. Let's just bring it down a bit. I'll stop grilling you now. Jenny, do you have any funny stories to share about any strange or funny moments on stage?
A few, mainly based down to you or Susie.
Susie, if no, obviously, and not if who Susie is. She's one of our very close friends, but also we met her because she auditioned for a show, and she was in the show, and she was with us for years and years and years, and she's become the loose cannon in our life. No, okay. She's become a very, very close friend of ours, and she's always up to mischief.
Yeah. So there's certain things that Susie's done that I won't repeat on here, but let's go to three main things, right? So this is not anyone in particular. This is groups of stuff. We was on tour, wasn't we, in 2006 or 7, with a show called The Battle, and we toured a few UK theatres, and there was a cast of 8 of us. It's pretty cool to have our own touring show and all that. But after the first couple of shows, people would get up to mischief. So there was this bit in one of the routines where I'm in the middle, and there was these 6 dancers around, and they're supposed to do other things while I'm doing something in the middle. Anyway, I was at this one venue, the lights come up, all of them lot are squatting down on the floor looking at me, and left me for a solo. So that was interesting, that was one. Also on the same tour, we've got a lot of things on this tour, we had lines to say, and I'm not a great actor, but I try my best, or actress should I say. And I had one of them bubbles, you know, like, you start talking like this. And I just couldn't clear it, and I could see people's mouths start to come up, and I was trying to hold it together without corpsing. It was just that was a funny moment. It was probably an in-joke, but for me that was one of my memories. And I guess we was in France, I believe, or Barcelona, who knows, we was there a lot with Forever Jackson. And that show, I was intent. I was like getting ready to march onto stage with full intention, because we was in our sort of army military uniforms, and I didn't see it, and there was a mic stand in front of me, and on the feet of the mic stand I like this, and I touched it, and the mic stand went whack in my face, but I had to go on, so like I just had this like this, and then blood in my mouth everywhere marching on. So that was not funny, but
that was horrific. That was really bad, that one.
That was a the show must go on moment.
That's a bad one. And it's not in any way, shape or form are we encouraging mucking around behaviour on stage. No, that is not to happen, and that is not to happen in our shows.
Yes.
Sometimes us adults that know Jenny very, very well, we do like to set Jenny up. because we like to see her freestyle, and she is the owner. So I just think where there's a few times we don't do it in our big main shows, but sometimes in the odd showcase, we will set Jenny up so that she is either on the stage by herself or it's literally for a split few seconds. We just like to drop or just do a little pose and point at her. So she gets to do a little couple of moves by herself. It only lasts a couple of seconds, but we find that highly amusing, and it's a little bit of an annual thing for us all now.
I've now come to expect it, but I still never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it always throws me off.
Yeah, I know. It is really bad, actually. We should stop it.
Yeah. We're allowed to be the bosses. Nobody else do it. All right.
Yeah, nobody else do it. We don't encourage this behaviour. But we've been dancing for so many years, and I think when we do these things to each other, we know how to overcome it. Whereas if you used to do that to someone that doesn't know to overcome that, or blag it, as we would like to say, that could end in tears. So I'm not encouraging that behaviour at all.
Also, that behaviour comes about because I know some students who've been with us a couple of years probably won't understand, but most of the people in that class have been with us many, many years. Some have been friends with us since we were little or younger. So it's very much for us with that, especially the adult class on a Monday. A lot of those people are people from our friendship group before they were dancers with us.
Yeah.
So it's an ingrained culture as such. It's not a normal thing you'd probably get at an adult class. So don't get us wrong.
Not at all. It's literally because we've all danced together since we were like dots. So. Yeah.
And those that haven't have very much become part of the furniture in the family there. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So what other people have inspired you along the way, Jenny?
A lot of different people, really. In terms of artists, Janet Jackson. Her music videos, one of the reasons why I wanted to dance as well, or just be able to dance like her, or dance for her, be one of her dancers. So in terms of, passion, there's that. Don Campbell Lock, the late Don Campbell Lock, who was the originator of locking. I don't know him, but I have watched so many of his videos talking about the origins of it, and I just tunnel in to what he's saying. I feel like I can really relate. And I love his openness. So he says, like, take my style and make it your own. And I love that. It's not saying that I'm a pioneer, this is my style and you have to do it this way. He's saying that, here you go, take it, now do something with that. And he encourages creativity, or encouraged. I've said this a couple of times. I think I said it on a different interview to Lyndon, that when we did the championships in 2007, we ran a championships, lots of different crews came in. We had a Diversity Flawless, Kimberly J there. There was some big names before they were televised as such, and we was very lucky. And I was advertising that on MySpace, because MySpace was the Facebook of the day. And Don Campbell messaged and said, keep up what you're doing, keep up the great work. And that's always sat well with me, like in terms of somebody else who doesn't know us can see what we're trying to do. Yeah. And I thought that was really kind of him to take the time out to write something, So yeah, Janet Jackson, Don Campbell Lock. And in terms of business, I've got a lot of people that I follow on social in terms of business and who inspire me. Stephen Bartlett, Neil Patel. But in terms of people that I know, it's got to be Andy from Urban Strides, because he has given me the confidence to try certain things, take away the dancing as a business, who's really helped us grow over the last, from that point, especially the first year after the course there. So yeah, I'd say him as well.
Lovely. Is there anything left on your dance career bucket list?
No, I'm really content. Absolutely 100% happy with what's on my table. But again, if Janet calls me and says, look, I'm doing 1 day filming for this new song, or throwing back to this song, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope that happens for you, because I think you deserve it. Right, Jen, we're going to loosen it up now even
Okay.
more. And I think
Okay.
it's time for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a quick fire round. No dilly-dallying. First answer.
Okay.
Are you ready? Quick
I
fire.
am ready.
I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you two options or an option, and you have to pick one or say one. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Quick fire. Are you ready, Jenny?
Yeah.
What's your favourite season?
Summer.
Favourite TV show?
Breaking Bad.
Favourite hobby?
Tennis.
Favourite drink?
Coca-Cola. Sorry.
Favourite food?
Meatballs.
You took too long there, Jenny,
Sorry.
to be quicker. Musical or drama?
Musical.
Student or teacher?
Teacher.
Movie night or night out?
Actually, take that back. Student.
Oh.
Movie
No,
night all the way.
no. You can't take away. You have to go with your first answer.
Ah.
Movie night or night out?
Movie night.
90s hip hop or noughties R&B?
90s hip hop.
Hip hop or funk?
Funk.
Glass half empty or half full?
Ooh.
Da-da,
Wait. I want to say I want to be a half fuller, but sometimes I am a half empty. But I need to fix
That's not an answer.
it. It is an answer.
No. I'm going to ask you this again, and I want one answer.
Right.
Glass half empty or half full?
Half full.
Janet Jackson or Michael Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
Holiday in the sun or city break?
At the moment, son.
Honey or Save the Last Dance?
Honey.
TikTok or Facebook?
TikTok.
Before I ask you my last question, is there anything you wanted to add to today?
I just want. I think we've said it a lot of times, but I just feel like every time we do a video, I need to say it. I just want to thank everybody who's who we work with, or is a student of ours, or a parent, for just being awesome through this year, or through 2020. Because I'm getting quite emotional now.
Oh, don't! You're going to start me off. Stop it! This is meant to be fun. We don't want to be crying.
Okay. Just because this means a lot as a person as well.
Oh, that's just got me right in the feels. I wasn't expecting that turn.
Me neither.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Jen. I'm with you. It's been a tough year, and we are just beyond grateful for the support of everybody. We're very lucky to have a lot of very kind and nice people around us. See, I told you she was a sot.
Carry on. Get me past this.
One more question. Last question. If you were hosting a dinner, if you were hosting a dinner party for us,
Yeah.
3 seats at the table, what 3 people would you have there who are with us or no longer with us, and why?
Probably look terrible now, don't I? Sorry.
No, you look.
Easy peasy. Right, easy peasy. I would have George Michael, because I love his music. I think from what I've read about him, read his book and watched interviews and stuff, he's a very disunderstood person. I'd like just to be his friend.
No.
And hopefully he'll sing me a song at the same time. So that'd be nice. I think, without making myself upset again, so I'm going to move past it pretty quick, my mum, because she's the biggest supporter. And Neil Patel. Neil is a digital marketer, and I find all of his online teachings very inspiring, or just simple to understand and actionable. So in terms of business, Neil Patel.
Perfect answers. I'm going to wrap this up quick because I feel like this is going down. Thank you for your time, Jen. I love you to bits.
You too.
Oh, so many other people love you to bits. Thank you for being you, and we love you.